Can we get the lost episode?
Corporate over. This could be the lost
The
episode
lost episode.
if things go bad enough. Welcome to Things Might Happen. We are the greatest podcasts in the world.
Voted number 1 by Martha Stewart.
Yeah, and we have today a special guest. Oh, actually, you know what I want to do?
Okay.
I don't like it when, because people are going to be watching, and by now this will be the 300 or 400th episode
Yep.
that people have seen,
Yep.
and they're going to be alarmed that you're here.
True.
Okay.
They're gonna
Especially
tune in,
because of the shirt.
and they're going to be confused. So what I need you to do is I need you to take the headphones off,
Okay.
and you need to walk over that way. And I'd like to get the sound of the door.
Opening.
Yeah. Leave the room.
And go get in your car.
And
Just give me a vocal cue, I suppose.
yeah, I mean, if you listen. Oh, he's not. It's a soundproof room. Close the door on the
You
side.
have to yell.
Welcome to Things Might Happen. Today we have a very special guest.
Who should be joining us at any moment.
An actor, an artist.
Improvisational actor.
And welcome to this podcast, Jacob Schendzielos, everybody.
Hello.
I feel like there should be applause there.
Yeah.
We'll add that up.
There is in my
I'm
mind.
glad
yeah.
you're here.
Woo!
Oh, I shouldn't clap for the mic.
Yes, it is I, Jacob Schendzielos.
And we've heard lots of good things about you. You're an actor. I've seen you do some improv.
Yes.
You're a great stage presence. You can't even turn it off for a podcast.
Well,
You didn't even know this was a video podcast, and you wore that shirt.
I got it on Amazon a
Dude.
week ago, and I haven't worn it yet, and I feel like this was a good opportunity.
You buttoned it all the way up.
We can.
I mean, it doesn't matter.
Here, it's okay. I'll go to
good
Oh,
shirt.
no. This isn't that kind of podcast.
a little more
Jacob.
casual. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, button it all the way up.
Yeah, button it all
Okay,
the way
we're
up.
going
You're
back
like
up.
a magician.
Okay, hold on.
Um,
I'm gonna make your viewers disappear.
yeah.
Jacob
They're
started
already gone.
Jacob started unbuttoning, and our viewership tripled, and then he started buttoning back up, and we dropped back down.
So just tell us, give us an essay about yourself.
Okay. So kind of like you guys mentioned, I do a lot of theater, a lot of acting. And I guess we can go back to when it started. I was 11, and
Should we get on a therapist couch for this, or
you guys have a lounge?
No,
It's not in the budget.
it's not
it's
in the
not
budget? It got replaced by Sprite
We got
in the
your
budget.
Sprite.
I'm okay with this,
Yeah.
actually. No, so when I was 11, I was an awkward middle schooler. Most middle schoolers are awkward, but I was especially awkward. And I had played basketball for the longest time, and the only reason was because I was above average in height and very below average in athletic skill. But apparently they saw potential in me, and I'd quit basketball because I was like, I don't like this. This isn't fun. And so I was just kind of at home all day, just hanging out. And one of my sister's friends was part of a children's theater program at Seraphim. And I was like, I don't want to do that. That sounds stupid. And my mom was like, well, I'm not really giving you a choice.
How old are you at this point?
20.
So you're over the age that Seraphim Theater Company usually does children
Right,
productions.
but this was when he was
This is when I was
11.
11.
Oh, you're 20 now.
Yes.
Oh, so, okay. Yeah.
He was 11 when
I
the
was 11
story
when
was
this happened.
happening. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking in the context of the story.
I still act in the children's theater program now
Okay.
as a 20-year-old.
I mean, you
I have connections.
have the face
You
for
still
it.
look 11.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I mean, that looks fake, but okay. So you're 11. You're.
Can we get a close-up on this? I worked really hard to grow this, actually.
He
group for the podcast.
he sat on his couch and just
I
went,
just-
"Rrrr," and it just kind of popped out.
Yeah.
This is what we got. It's not perfect.
So you're 11.
Yeah, I am 11.
Children's program.
Yeah. And my mom was like, no, you got to get out and do something. Go for the first week. If you don't like it, then I think
Tough.
it's like, we won't make you do it again, but you have to basically stick out the semester. So I did it, and we did Peter Pan, and I was John Darling. I had probably like 40 lines in that show, and just something about it, just all of these awkward teenage kids that I could relate to, just something about that. I was like, you know what? I couldn't relate to any of those athletic basketball jock kids who are cool with their vapes and their whatever.
11-year-olds with vape.
Well,
So Seraphim was your Hogwarts letter.
basically, yeah.
I mean, basically becoming a theater kid is like joining a cult. Like, absolutely it is. And so you joined the cult,
I
and
did.
that's great.
It is.
Yeah.
I was inducted to the cult.
Mm.
And after that point, I did not miss a single Second Star show up until I aged out of it.
What was your favorite? What was your favorite show?
Favorite show? Specifically in that Second Star program,
Yeah, that part.
I would say we did Sherlock Holmes.
Mm.
This is when I was probably 15. So I was Sherlock Holmes. And the best part was that I waited 2 weeks before the show to actually memorize anything. And Sherlock Holmes likes to talk a lot. Like, a lot. So, yeah, it was, I was actually in 2 other shows at the exact same time that were also both opening pretty soon. So, needless to say, it just was kind of a rough 2 weeks.
So you age out of Seraphim. I assume you continued to go with Seraphim and other places, maybe.
Yes. So with Seraphim, they have main stage shows that they put on as well for all ages. And after about 4 of those Second Star shows, I was like, you know what? I'm like an aspiring 13-year-old. I can audition for one of these shows. And I auditioned for a show called The Princess and the Dragon. And I ended up getting cast as the minstrel narrator. So I had to play a fake ukulele with 4 plastic chords and sing and dance. And that was my first main stage show, which then continued a trend of me doing more main stage shows, which led to me doing like 3 shows at a time because I would do Second Star shows, main stage shows, and then high school theater shows. Honestly, I didn't have any free time as like a high schooler. It was like theater, and maybe homework every once in a while.
So who else was in The Princesses and Dragon that would be relevant to this podcast?
Oh,
He just always finds a way to make it happen, doesn't he? Just always.
No, it wasn't me. I wasn't in that one.
No. But Ashley Matheson.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's not about you at all. It's just your wife.
Everything's about me, Tyler.
Corvide, he has a wife. He just wants to
I
rub
forgot.
it in.
Did you notice?
Yeah.
And during Princesses and Dragon, it was not only the first time I'd seen him on a main stage show, of course, because that was your first one. Was this after Radio Suspense Theater?
Yes,
okay. So I directed him in a Second Star show. I did okay.
You did.
I did okay.
You did.
But
I like that you're not like usually people would be like, you did great.
no,
like,
I did
usually
okay.
coach
It's
them up,
fine.
like-
I'm all right with how. Yeah, I have accepted that. But not only was that the first time that I saw Jacob in a main stage show, that was the first time I'd ever seen Ashley. And so, like, this girl is really cute. And, oh, she's really talented and funny. And
that boy is charming and young.
well, not that part, but okay, yeah.
Well, he was of age at that time. He
wasn't. He was
No.
like 15.
Oh, never mind.
I did have a period in my life where I attempted stand-up. And,
Yeah.
and the first iteration of this was at my freshman year talent show in high school, which was awful. High schoolers, they don't care if you're funny or not. They just want to tear your ego down and leave you in shambles.
It's okay. So does Tyler.
I don't-
So,
I don't think anybody in here is going to disagree with you
Yeah,
that
Yeah.
high school was an awful time
Oh, 100%.
because
hated it.
theater kid,
Uh-huh.
or were you a theater kid? I actually don't know.
I didn't start theater till I was a junior. I was more of a
You should have been a theater
sports
kid.
band kid.
Yeah, band kid.
Yeah.
Were you a band kid?
No. I was a choir.
That's why you're
choir,
bearable.
Yeah.
Band in theater, and
I was the burnout metalhead guy.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nothing has
Was.
changed.
It was.
Was.
Oh, still am. Sorry.
Yeah, if we were the Breakfast Club, it wouldn't be exciting at all. It would just be
Bender. Just Bender.
Bender and 3 of the goth chicks.
Yeah.
I am Molly Ringwald. Excuse me.
Absolutely not.
The saving grace of that stand-up show was the 8-year-old kid I met at the gas station later that night. I was like, "Hey, you were the guy doing jokes, right?" Like, yeah,
This is really
An 8-year-old
important.
said this to you?
yeah. Like, I mean, probably 8 or 10. Or
I mean, what were your jokes about?
Yeah. Do you remember any of them?
I very vaguely.
Okay,
I
all
think
right.
the only one that killed like a little bit. So most of my close family is vegan, and when they all went vegan, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go vegan too. This is gonna be a thing. And then half a day later, we went to Taco John's, and and I got a meat and potato burrito, and
Did they just get potato burritos or what?
basically,
Okay.
Wait, your vegan family went to Taco John's.
I had half a day after they became vegan. I think they were still like coping with like, well, what do we do now?
Yeah.
Like we've committed to the veganism.
Well, it's really hard to be vegan in this section of the planet.
Yeah, it's not great.
Oh, like Brandon, you remember Brandon, he was the drummer of my band. He went vegan, and he would like know how to order at like Taco Bell, like all the fast food restaurants. He would know how to order there, and
Yeah.
it was kind of
But it's a shift. Like
Interesting.
you have to sit there
Yeah.
and go like, I want
Yeah.
beans or whatever.
My stand-up journey, so kind of closed that chapter for a little bit.
Quick chapter.
Yes, but we opened that book back up twice. The first time, I guess the second time of the first time. That made sense. Was
Calculus.
I went to Stevens High School, and they do a thing called Mr. SHS. It's like a male pageant, I guess, for
I mean,
seniors.
this is reinforcing a lot of things I think about Stevens High School, but go ahead.
Yep. So anyways, there was a talent portion, and I was like, you know what? I didn't learn anything from the first time I did stand up in front of a high school. Let's do it again. That one went significantly worse. Because all the other guys were like coming out and dancing to like Ice Ice Baby with like a boombox on their shoulders. And yeah, and I did stand-up comedy. And my mom thought it was funny.
It's nice.
Funny that you did stand up or that you were funny?
She was laughing.
You did not answer the question. I think it's important to note.
She was laughing. So chapter closed again. Fast forward, 2 years. I took a gap year after high school, and then the year after that, I moved to New York City for about 5 months to do my freshman year of college. And I made a friend out there. I made a friend out there who was a stand-up comedian.
Yeah.
And he would do stand-up shows, and I'd go and like watch his shows. And one night, he was just like, "Hey, have you ever done stand-up?" And I was like, I don't really want to talk about it, but
he was just friends with Louis C.K.
8-year-olds love me, dude.
I'm big with the eight-year-old stand-up scene. And he was like, you should do like a 5-minute set. And like, it's called Eastville in New York. It's like a little dive bar in Brooklyn. I was like, you know what? Why not? And that one actually went okay.
Yeah.
And all the 8-year-olds there were just clapping their hands.
Their sticky hands.
Yeah. Was it the same material?
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe you were too
I know.
highfalutin.
Yeah, I would say so. I needed to like branch out a little bit.
But you'll be honest, some high school kids are dumber than 8-year-olds. I'll
Oh,
say that
100%.
much.
So what did you study in college?
I'm currently studying to be a computer science major, which is different than acting in a couple of ways.
Really?
The
Can you explain?
Yes. So the first is math. So I actually like math. Math is fun when I understand math. When I'm asked to take the arctangent of the third derivative of like, I don't know, freaking x squared plus 1, I could do it, but like math that I don't understand scares me. It's like the fear of the unknown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
That's
math
really the only
101
way.
for me when I got to community college.
And
Remedial
where
accounting.
are you? Where are you currently studying?
I'm
for those at home.
I'm currently studying at the School of Mines here in Rapid City, South Dakota.
So why computer science? Because money?
So,
Why not like a different
no,
anything else?
yeah. So
Why not something interesting?
when I was on my gap year after high school, I had all of the intentions of going to college for musical theater and pursuing that route. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to go tour a couple of colleges. I was kind of set. Oh, okay. We're just going to voice crack.
He's 11 again.
I am. Sorry. It's just bringing back all the memories. No, so I went to tour a couple colleges in New York. So I was pretty set on going out there, at least for a semester. And while I was out there, one of the schools that I went to has like 5 different sub-schools, and it's just massive. It's a big old New York school. And one of them was for computer science. And I'd done some research on the department. So prior to this, I was really into coding. I really liked to just build random little games or stuff like that on my computer, just for fun, nothing too crazy. So when I was out there touring that college and saw that department, kind of got me thinking like, hey, I could actually, first of all, make money in this career. And it's something that I still enjoy. The thing about theater is, I mean, right now I'm on a theater break. Like, well, theater break meaning I'm auditioning for a show in like 3 weeks. But
Are you gonna wear that shirt?
I actually am going to an improv show Friday, and this was the plan.
Yeah.
We'll see. I mean, after this, I might be too self-conscious to wear it ever again.
No, it's a great shirt.
Good.
Is it, is it in the budget to just remove the shirt from my...
Screen it out.
Yeah.
Gold screen.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Green
that's
screen,
gonna
a
be
monster truck shirt on there.
Just a tank top.
Where was I? College.
Computer science.
Computer science. So, yeah, I did some research. It's like, I'll at least give this a try while I'm in New York. And if I absolutely hate it, then I'll just be sitting in $15,000 of debt for no reason.
Sure.
And
That's what college is.
that was a semester in New York, which is it's crazy. Anyways, I try not to think about that sometimes. Went out to New York, did 17 credit hours for one semester, which was a big workload, but it was a lot of fun. Met some really awesome people, and was like, cool, I'm going to go back to South Dakota and do this for like a fourth of the price. But I wouldn't take back my New York experience because it was really cool. It's just really cool. I found out I was a very codependent person before that. And then like my family was like, dropped me off out of our family minivan and was like, hey, have fun in New York. And then drove off and I was like, well, crap. I'm all by myself.
You guys drove all the way to New York.
Yep,
from
25-hour
here?
drive.
Jesus Christ.
So it was like, obviously we didn't stop either. 25 hours straight. And me, my older sister, my mom. Yeah, it was crazy.
How full were the buckets when you got there?
Well, we stopped at the gas station.
Well,
but we
you
didn't-
said we didn't stop.
Well, sorry, I should have specified. No, so my mom drove the majority of the way, but my older sister and I each took a shift over the night so that she could sleep. And I genuinely, because I was so sleep deprived, I can't remember if it was me or my sister or my mom that was driving at the time, but we ended up like going backwards through like a toll road area and got pulled over, and the cop was just so concerned and confused. Like,
You went backwards, like you went the wrong way through a toll road?
yeah, so like we got through and we pulled up to the gate and it was the wrong side of it, so we couldn't like do anything. I don't know how.
And you don't remember if you did that.
This is the reason South Dakota should not go to New York.
Yeah.
It was, yeah. I genuinely can't remember because I don't remember physically pulling over. I remember hearing the sirens and stuff. It was also like 3 a.m. and I was in a car for 14 hours prior to
Yeah.
that. So I'm gonna go ahead and say it wasn't me, but
Officer, I don't recall.
Those points on your license beg to differ.
no. So, jumping back to what I was saying before, that honestly, New York played a really big part in, I think, how I artistically see the world now. Because South Dakota is not the most artistic or most diverse place in the world.
What?
I know. It was
no.
It's kind of a shell shock for me too. No, I mean genuinely though, like even just like the cultural diversity out there, yeah, I didn't know, and it was not that I've really done anything about it, but
It changed me in no way.
Yeah.
But I appreciate
It made me feel worse about my endeavors.
yeah, basically.
I remember I went there last summer, and a tour guide was very interested because when he found out we were Native American,
Mhm.
he was like, "Oh, wow," because he was from I can't remember where he was from. I think he was from like Iran, and he was like talking about like, oh, you know, he's doing the tour guide stuff to help pay for his family or whatever, and then he would be talking to these people, and he would like be able to like people from different languages would come up and talk to him, and he was just able to switch back and forth,
Oh my
like,
gosh.
you know, like probably 3 or 4 languages, like I saw him do. And so, you know, I complimented him. I was like, wow, you really seem to be able to just whatever anyone comes up to you with, you've got it.
Mhm.
And so he was like, well, you know, he's like, well, I have to know this language because this is the language everyone knows around here. And then this language, of course. And then that language is the one everyone talks about in my neighborhood. And he's like, and then, of course, I have to know my own language because it's my mother tongue. And he's like, do your Native Americans have a, you know, language? And I was like,
Yeah.
absolutely. And he's like, can you speak it? And I was like, Shunka means dog. And, you're a college age kid. Oh, you're not quite drinking it yet.
No.
So you're not.
I think I have alcohol intolerance. Like I think I physically can't drink alcohol without.
Come hang out with us.
That's how I'll find out.
Well, I don't think any of us should be drinking alcohol at this point.
Party pooper.
So I'm actually genuinely curious how I get tested for this. Because like,
For alcohol intolerance?
like, do you just go to the doctor like, here, drink this?
I'll
Like, do you feel?
I'll check for you.
Just walk into a doctor's office, shotgun a beer, and go, watch me.
If I,
So like
Now-
like you mean like if you were to have alcohol, not that you ever have.
well, okay, so here's what happened.
Or like you tried to clean a wound and it didn't work. Or what?
So I had like a sip of a blueberry wine this one time.
Maybe you're just allergic to blueberry wine.
No. So
If you're gonna tell me you didn't get messed up off of a sip of blueberry wine, therefore you think you have intolerance.
no, I woke up and my throat was swollen and like I barely could breathe. And the same thing happened. I had like a sip of mead at a Ren fair that I went to.
Oh, so you think you're like actually allergic to alcohol?
Yeah.
Not like when you
Not
said
like-
alcohol intolerance, I thought you meant like your body didn't process it. You just went wash it out.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I don't think I can drink alcohol without dying.
I don't know if that's a thing.
I don't know.
I don't either.
I-
Google is a scary place to learn about these things. So
But yeah, I mean, if you try to Google it, you're gonna find out like
I have cancer.
some weird, like
Yeah.
one person 2,000 years ago
hmm
died first.
Jesus.
I don't know why. You're gonna
It's fine.
find some
I'm
weird
ready.
stuff on Google here. Yeah, no, I don't know. That's a good question, and we are not doctors, but I will say
are we going?
the COVID vaccine's not real. We're a podcast, aren't we?
This is what that podcast is going to be about.
Yeah, we are going. By the way, like we've
Oh,
been
okay.
going.
Good.
I'm gonna use all of this.
Oh, good.
We're going to tell your mom that you drank.
I think she knows.
Oh,
She wants to watch the podcast, so she's gonna find out.
lovely.
Hi, Mom.
Yeah, I like the idea that like it's so debaucherous of him
Taking
have had a
sip of wine.
to have a sip of mead,
How
a sip
did
of
no?
wine.
She won't care.
Like if she was like sitting there going like, yeah, he's like, I had 20 natty ices in 1 minute. Like, yeah. No, I don't know. Welcome back to Things By
Yeah, welcome back.
We're 3 minutes into the segment already.
I'll take it.
No, so we're back with our esteemed guest, Jacob Schendzielos Jr.
Sure.
The
I mean,
third.
Jacob Schendzielos the third.
most people just call me the 6'3".
The six, like they just call you the 6'3",
It's like a basketball name.
or Jacob Schendzielos the 6'3".
It's the full thing.
I've heard you answer to the giraffe as well.
Yeah, I have.
Your
Okay.
neck's not that long.
With that shirt.
It does kind of like work for the color.
Yeah.
Hold on, try like eating leaves.
Do you have a purple or black
He's
tongue?
an actor. I totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
That's why he's here.
Oh, he's got the lip work. That's what a giraffe looks like. So I don't know what we're gonna do.
I can do more animals. I mean,
If you've got a good animal, what's your best animal?
Favorite
oh
animal?
gosh, I wasn't ready for this.
You just said you could do it.
I was improvising. I don't
Yeah. Well, you're not yes-anding my "What's your favorite animal?" very well.
Yes, and thank you for asking that question.
All right.
So you're not gonna do animal.
Still not gonna do
you're
it.
not gonna do
All
an
right.
animal.
You advertise animals, you don't do them. All right.
I did the giraffe. What more do you want from me? Okay.
I don't
Giraffe's
know.
like my best one.
Baby giraffe.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh yeah, do baby giraffe.
What are the hands?
Yeah,
add
what
to
are
it?
they? hands?
It's the babiness.
Because giraffes have little hands that stick out of their face.
It adds character.
That wasn't it. That was not it.
All right. So acting.
Acting.
You found the stage when you were 11.
Yes.
Did you like care about acting at all beforehand?
Not at all.
Did you like watch a movie and went, "That's some acting"?
No. Actually,
You'd never watched a movie?
no, that's not true. But like, I never paid attention to that. Like as a kid, I didn't process like, oh, there's people behind that. Like
Yeah.
it was just a thing. The first movie I ever saw in theaters was Cars, and I left crying. Not because Cars is an emotional roller coaster of a story, which it isn't. But
Well, you know what they say? Life is a highway.
I'm gonna cry because
Because
I
his
was an
first
adult
movie.
still when that came out, dude.
It was Cars 2006.
Maybe
Was it that long
ago?
7 or 8.
I think 7 or 8. I think I was like
You
5
are
or 6.
You're
Yeah.
the data guy.
Okay, I was in high school.
All right, data
then.
analysis.
Young Thatcher, bring that up.
Go ahead and run that model on.
2006, you were right.
Oh,
There you go. So I was 3.
Wow.
I had like overstimulation issues as a kid, and I
Yeah.
still do, honestly.
Okay, I was like 14.
so you were overstimulated by cars.
I was overstimulated by cars.
cars.
I think
So you didn't really admire the acting because too much
No.
was going on.
No.
He was just very attracted to Sally and he didn't know how to process that.
Sure.
as a 3-year-old.
Yeah.
Who among us? Okay. So not a big fan of acting.
Like,
stuff.
yeah, I don't know. Like, it just never was a thing.
Do you appreciate it now?
Yes, yes.
Do you have a favorite actor at this point?
I actually don't.
You don't have like an actor that you're like, oh, he's in this? I got to go see this movie.
You don't play a home team. You're a fan. You love the game.
Yeah, I'm there to support the team,
Yeah.
not the player.
Do you have a favorite local actor?
A
Like,
local one.
here in Rapid?
Like
that you've
someone I
gotten-
like to work with?
Matt
Yeah,
Sindel.
you
He's
got
gonna
an
make it
actor.
about himself.
No, I know it's not me.
Sorry. Tyler
not
Matheson.
me. It's but
You're
maybe a
so-
woman who's.
You're actually up there. I'll be honest. You're really fun to work with. A guy named David Allward. He doesn't necessarily act, but he does a lot of.
Who do you like acting with? This guy who doesn't act.
Well, can it be the process? No.
Yes.
Or-
Yes.
You answer this question.
Yeah.
Whatever way strikes your fancy.
Okay. No, he does a lot of behind the scenes work and like special effects, practical effects. And
He was the one behind Audrey 2 in the performance here of Little Shop.
yeah, the 15.5 foot tall man-eating plant that picked up people off the ground. Yeah. And just like he wouldn't admit it, but he's like a genius. Like a super genius. Like honestly, if Dr. Doofenshmirtz was like a real life person,
Oh,
It'd
he's
be-
gonna love that.
he is. And it's just like he's so creative, and I don't think he gets enough appreciation. That's a word I can say. Appreciation for it.
Actually, we're not allowed to use that word on this podcast.
That's appropriation is the word you're looking
Oh,
for.
okay.
We're not allowed to say appreciation, and we're not allowed to say defunct.
Okay. I'll do my best.
Those are the two words that we get.
That's kind of
flagged
my
for.
catalog for tonight, but
I just had a question of like you name a movie that you love and one that you hate, and we just kind of like based on what we
Make
know
it
about
apart.
you now, we would try to guess which one you love and which one you hate.
oh, I see.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Ooh,
Yeah.
interesting. Let's see. Okay.
Cars. You love Cars.
There's too much
I have
happening.
since rewatched Cars, and it's actually a decent movie. I don't feel like these two are good options.
Well, then you're free to choose other ones.
Okay. All right. I feel like this is okay. We're just gonna go with it.
I just want to
Yeah.
go on record here. I would never have put our esteemed guest on the spot.
That's what you said. You know
I
what?
think you
Too
said
bad.
hot
He-
seat.
He does improv. So
I wanted to. Yeah, he's not. He didn't do the.
But I have to be
improv
genuine.
thing.
I can't be like, oh, Cars.
Cars and Cars 2.
Between Cars. No, okay. We're gonna go with. Oh gosh. We're gonna go with the Croods 2.
Reminding us how young he is.
Yeah,
No.
all these references hurt.
And Interstellar.
Okay, so you hate one and you love one?
Yeah.
I think I know.
I think I know.
The range on these movies is insane.
I go ahead. I'm kidding.
Well, I mean, you're a 20-year-old man. You're a.
He's too young to have watched the first Croods.
No. I'll explain when you guess. It'll make sense. I'm
I'm going to go with the obvious. You love Croods too.
Yeah, absolutely. That's like the favorite movie.
Well, but he's
for
like the right
sure.
age where, like, if he's gonna be like pretentious and like movies like
If
Interstellar.
he's going to be pretentious, how many foreign films have you watched in the last 2 weeks?
0.
How many foreign films have you watched in the last 2 weeks?
Pretend you hate Stanley Kubrick, dude.
I watched a film that was mostly in Korean, but it's American. And I watched an anime.
All right, so
Yeah.
that's at least 2.
Oh,
And you're calling somebody pretentious.
I'm just saying he's right in the right age bracket where he'd be like, actually, Christopher Nolan's a great artist.
Well, so I failed at this game because, like,
Oh, I love both of them.
no, not at all.
I don't care about either of them.
So, well, not true. I kind of iffy on Interstellar. I haven't seen it in like a little while, but I remember liking it.
That was the closest you can come to a movie he loves.
Yeah, my game sucked, dude.
No, but I have like a
Maybe
burning...
if we told him in that long break we just took, hey, can you come up with a couple movies?
I have a burning hatred for Croods too, though.
Okay, all right.
Now, have you seen Croods 1?
Yes,
Okay.
I was like a teenager when that came out.
I mean, I don't doubt it, but I mean, there's movies.
Maybe young, not adult.
You don't see every movie that
Yeah.
comes out in your life.
No,
So-
it was good.
Why do you hate Croods too?
It's so bad. It's just
Now,
really
Croods 2, that's the caveman one.
probably.
They're cavemen.
Probably.
I can't. I asked you a basic part of the premise. I don't. I
They're
actually
all cavemen. I mean, I don't.
don't- Isn't that what movies are?
Interstellar. It's the one where the cavemen go to the other planet.
No, my dad invited like all of us to go see Croods 2.
Mhm.
He was like,
Oh, so you saw it with your dad. That's why.
no. He was like, guys, this is gonna be great. We're gonna see Croods 2. And It was awful, and we all hated it. And he was like, "That was great. I love Croods."
So it's forced family bonding.
Well, kind of.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't understand how he likes it, and that.
And your reason for you don't even you're obviously slight on you're warm on Interstellar.
Yeah.
You're not even hot on it.
Right.
You're milquetoast.
Yeah.
Can you name a movie that you would like go to bat for, like you actually really like?
Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse.
That was
Okay.
so fast.
Yeah.
That was so much easier.
You could have just done that.
I feel like that was going to be too obvious, though. I was overthinking the game. I almost hit the table. It's fine.
Well, he's only
Spider-Man-
ever seen 4 movies. It was Cars, Croods 2, Interstellar,
And
and
Spider-Man.
Into the Spider-Verse. He's only ever seen
Into the
4.
Spider-Verse, that's the first one? That's
Yes.
okay.
Yeah, that one's still ahead of the second one
Yeah,
for me.
okay.
Okay.
But then his one that he doesn't even like, it's not even that he doesn't really like it.
No, I do. Like, not really like it. Like, it's just so...
He said burning passion or
But the
burning
thing that
hatred.
seems
Yeah.
the thing that seems to really ignite you about it is
it's
the fact
so,
that your dad
it's
likes
so just childish. It's so, like, the first movie had some depth to it, actually, and, like, sure, it was silly and goofy, but, like, it had a good message. And then the second one's, like, poop and fart jokes, like, the entire
I
time.
felt like that about Grown Ups 2. Grown Ups 2 may be the worst movie I've ever seen.
Grown Up.
Whereas Grown Ups was bad, but not as bad. Grown Ups 2 was so much worse.
I think Adam Sandler is one of the few real filmmakers in modern American society.
Nice.
I will say, I hate all the Saw movies.
Saw 1 is an excellent movie.
Hate it.
I don't even think you've been alive during any of the Saw movies.
I mean, yeah, he definitely has. Because
No, there was like 13 Saw movies, then he was born. And then
There's been a 20-year hiatus
Yeah.
on Saw movies.
well,
Saw
one
movies.
came out like last summer or
Yeah.
something. So
Oh, okay.
I haven't
Yeah.
seen any of them, but
Yeah. Well, don't.
thank
If you don't like the Croods too,
Yeah.
you're not going to like Saw.
Venn
Based off of your
diagram is a
recommendation,
circle.
yeah.
All right. Somebody else needs to come. up with
It
questions.
was a good question. Thank you, Sheldon.
So you don't have like a favorite actor.
Not really.
I guess because I think like a lot of times like artists have like someone they're trying to emulate or someone who they saw and they were like, I like that and I'm gonna do that.
There was a nature documentary with a
With a giraffe, yeah.
I thought you were gonna tell me nature documentary. I was like, where is he going? Sorry.
David Attenborough.
Yeah, he's like, dude, I want to be David Attenborough.
So
that's why I got into the
really,
stage.
what
Giraffe.
Jacob is saying here is because he got into acting by like starting to act, he's his own inspiration.
Yeah.
Right? He's his own touchstone.
What do you draw from? Like, where's the well at?
like colored pencils and markers.
Yeah. You just really you get into.
Oh, I misunderstood. Okay.
I thought you were being a smartass and then
No,
you were just gonna
I-
follow up.
It's a good question. Thank you, Tyler, for that question. I'm gonna answer it now.
Feel free.
So a lot of my like growth from acting has come from one of the co-owners of Seraphim. His name's Steven, Italian last name, Ferrugia.
I thought you were going to say I don't actually know the
I
last
don't
name.
actually been friends for like
If you can say Schendzielos, you can say Ferrugia.
Ferrugia. Yeah.
It's Ferrugia?
Ferrugia.
hmm
Oh,
Was that
How have
surprising?
you been saying it?
I never have said it aloud. I have managed to
Stephen
Stephen F. Stephen F.
Fraggle Rock.
not. That Steven guy.
No, but so kind of in between the children's theater program and the main stage show, there was a little hidden gem that was the teen acting classes where he would teach us like how to act. And that's probably where I learned the most about
So
acting.
you're like all technique based.
Yeah, basically.
Like you don't ever go like I'm gonna be Adrian Brody today.
Yeah,
I'm going to go method.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you cry?
Yeah.
On demand?
You'll have to give me like I can do it in like a couple minutes. I have to like really get myself worked up to like be able to cry on command, but Like I'll just start getting there. We'll get
Longer, longer or shorter than it took for you to come up with those movies?
there. Shorter. I mean, that was like 5 minutes, right?
To force himself to cry, he just remembers going to Croods too.
Just see me before the show of a drama, just staring myself down in a mirror, just tearing up. What are you thinking about?
I saw a video recently of Bryce Dallas Howard.
Nice.
It was one of it was one of the like celebrity answer like Google's most asked questions about themselves, and it was like, can Bryce Dallas Howard cry on cue? She was like, oh, I absolutely can. You're just watching your hand over there.
Just look away for a second. I'm gonna go down here real quick.
So this is Bryce Dallas Howard.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I see it. He also looks like he's sweating.
Croods too.
Sweating and crying profusely.
Tyler didn't like my giraffe. And it's just really getting to me. And all I have left is the 8-year-old.
I told you not to bring up Bryce Dallas Howard. Okay, it's gonna make you cry.
Sorry about your table.
It's fine. I just hope you're feeling better.
It's good water. So,
Bryce Dallas Howard.
Oh, can she cry on command? She's like, absolutely, I can, and it's not an emotional thing. She apparently can just like lift her soft palate while she's talking.
Lift her soft palate.
Which I don't know what that means.
Unhinges her jaw.
And she just started like tearing up and then like sobbing as she's talking.
No.
And she's like, I'm not emotional right now. It's just,
isn't
it's a full technique thing that I cannot do.
Oh.
I've tried.
it's what I just did.
It was certainly technique.
It was.
It's like a Superman thing. You have to go into a phone booth and come out.
I'm suddenly crying.
You just need to leave me behind a wall with some form of hydration. I need to be properly hydrated to do it.
Look,
so.
in order to have water on my face, you have to give me water and hide my face.
Yes. Give me like 5 seconds. And I will come out
Oh
bawling.
man, that's hilarious. Did you have a question for our guest here today?
What is the favorite role you've gotten to play? Like, if you could continue to play a role, like, for a while, like an extended run of a show, what would you pick that you've done?
That is a good question. And it's one I'm going to answer.
I love his stalling technique. It's just...
So that question hits deep.
He's gonna start crying
In my
again.
hold on. But it just, I just can't hold it together when you ask me those things. I'm gonna hold on. It's fine. I
You're
don't need
stuck.
water.
It's fine.
I don't need
Yeah.
water. No, the first one that kind of came to mind was Jonathan Harker in Dracula.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that show happened in October of 2023, so not too long ago. And that show was like the first. I wouldn't call that show necessarily a drama, but it's the first dramatic role that I've gotten to play.
If you wouldn't call that a drama, what would you call it?
Well, like it's more of a horror.
It wasn't
thriller.
a comedy.
It's more of a horror thriller. It's very dramatic though.
Well, I would say a horror thriller falls into the dramatic category.
All right.
You're allowed to continue. This is a safe space.
Okay.
You won't be yelled at by any other Tylers.
I will cry again. I will do it. No, but that role was really the first time that I felt like I got to showcase what I could do as a dramatic actor. And it was just really exciting. And that show was also just so physically demanding and just like so many different elements that were just so fun. And I was just physically and emotionally exhausted every single night after it. But like, I would have done that show for months.
one of my favorite roles I got to do was in taking over the asylum at Seraphim. That was my first show with Seraphim, getting involved there. And it's very easy to get typecast as a comic actor, or, you know, like, it's very easy to fall into a role. Like, the last 3 or 4 plays I've been in, I have, like, led toasts in the play. Like, I'm the guy that, like, just yells, cheers, you know, in some foreign language. Or so. That's who I've become. But my first show with Seraphim, I got to do this dramatic role in taking over the asylum, where I got to play a man who was suffering from schizophrenia. And throughout the most of the part of the show, it's you know, fairly upbeat and everything, but then you take this twist into the dark, and it's really cool to explore those places that you don't normally get to, and to do it in an atmosphere that was safe, that was supportive. If I had done that show somewhere other than Seraphim, it could have been really hard, because I was struggling really hard with depression at that point. And it was a really cool thing to get to, like, dive into the mind of that character while being supported and safe. And Harker goes through some intense things in Dracula.
Yeah.
And a lot of adaptations will shy away from some of it, and I don't feel like Seraphim's did. I feel like it kind of shed a light on some of the trauma there.
Yeah.
And I think you did a great job as Harker. I got to see him as Harker, and it was very good.
What does Harker do in Dracula?
He is a solicitor from London, and basically the first half of the show is him going up to Dracula's castle in Romania, and Dracula's like, "Yo, dude."
They did Dracula, but from Compton.
No, like, hey, I want to buy property in London because he has run out of, like, I don't entirely know his motivation, but he wants to move to London so he can kill more people and, like, rule the world, I guess. I don't know.
That's why I want to move to London.
I could just make it to London. This world would be mine.
Just one boat right away.
That's basically every episode of Doctor Who ever.
But anyways, he shows up, and he can tell, like, something isn't right with this dude, and eventually finds out that he's a vampire, and then gets, like, held hostage and, like, drained of blood, like, every night up until, like, he's just about to die, and then he escapes and runs through the woods and gets saved.
He's pursued by the brides of Dracula, which are way scarier than Dracula actually is.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Because they're, like, wild thralls and uncontrollable. Yeah.
And with a lot of my dramatic acting, I was taught to, like, pull from something, like, attach the emotions that the characters are feeling to something that you experienced in real life. And I at the read through for that show, I had no idea what I was going to do, because, like, I've never been kidnapped. I've never been drained of blood repeatedly, like, every night.
Well, just think about what it's like to be kidnapped. Just think about being dragged into a theater.
Yeah.
Secrets, dude.
Mom, I don't want to be here.
I don't want to. That's where I got it. No. Yeah. No, it honestly, it's not necessarily healthy what I did, but I, like, almost convinced myself that things had happened, like, that I had experienced that didn't actually happen.
Yeah.
And so
he gaslit himself into being a good actor.
Yeah.
I think that's what most actors do.
Yeah. And I came up with a new method to get into character for that show. Like, nice shirt. No, I'd sit down in our rehearsal hall in front of a mirror, and I just look at myself until I didn't see myself, but I saw Jonathan Harker, my character. And I was like, if I don't believe that I'm Jonathan Harker, then I don't know how any of these people are going to believe that I'm Jonathan Harker. So,
wow. Tyler, you're right. He is more pretentious than you.
He is an actor.
I didn't mean that to be like a.
No, that's
you
great.
Invited me here to talk about my experiences. No.
This is what the whole podcast is. This is why we're going to do these guest segments. It's just I want to bring in people from the world that other people like.
From London?
Well, from anywhere. And just by the end of the episode, I want people to realize, oh, they're not better than Tyler. So that's
I mean, my giraffe is better than yours.
Oh. You haven't seen his.
We'll go
That's
draft
true.
to draft later. So a lot of, like, a lot of like dramatic acting you don't really think of as improv-y or free flowy.
Not at all. I see that more as like a stagnant. Like,
But like, do you get to the point where you feel rote, kind of doing that kind of stuff, where you feel like you just like have memorized it and you're just like hitting the cues,
it depends.
getting
So
robotic? Because that was one thing I never really liked about plays is like the level of improv you're allowed to do, the level of like free movement. It's very low.
yeah, I agree with that. For me, so with Dracula, for example, there were certain scenes where I kind of felt that way, and I think the scenes that I spent more time emotionally exploring and like finding and actually getting to those high emotions and feeling that, it felt natural what I was saying, what I was scripted to say. And occasionally it would be worded just slightly differently. Like I would say it just slightly differently because that felt a little more natural. If I got a note on it, I'd stop. But it was nice because I didn't feel like I was in a super tight box, but like I felt like I had room to explore the box that I was in.
Okay.
So
like, I guess because my thought is like the way I've always been directed, I guess, is the way that this always kind of worked out. It was like it really felt like you started off and it's like you're a big sheet of metal, and you just get hammered into place, and then at some point you like perfect it in, and it's like you're locked in, and like that's it, that's the whole thing. And then that's I guess like the idea of that's the character I want to go back to. That's the thing I wouldn't mind doing for months. Like what's the reason to keep going back to that? Like, is there something like you're exploring in there? Is there some sort of like a feeling of accomplishment every time you're able to hit it right?
I think it is that. I think it was the feeling of accomplishment. I don't get stage fright, but the first time, opening night of that show, when I was just about to walk out on stage, I broke character for a second. It's like, what am I doing? Like, I don't know if I can walk out there. And then I just did. And I did it. And so it's almost just proving to myself that I was capable of that and proving to others, because I think I'd mentioned, like, I didn't really have a chance to really show, like, what I can do in a dramatic situation or, like, in a dramatic show. So for me, just getting to let everyone see that and prove to myself I can do it. I was cast in this role for a reason. I don't know. It really struck with me that was just a really cool accomplishment. And yeah.
I feel really bad about my answer to the what role would you go back to, because I would absolutely go back and do Thomas Collymore from Play That Goes Wrong.
Yeah. Which
is just, a dumb comedy. It's very funny. It's one of the best comedies I've ever seen, if not the best. And because it's just very funny. And you can do some improv in a show like that. Like, every show is a little different, and we ended up recording one of them just for personal use for the theater, and that one has the biggest improv moments of the entire run of the show.
Yeah. And
it's really fun to see the difference between different nights. And then we were both in Flanagan's Wake.
I was going to say, that was a very...
That's an improv heavy show.
That is
improv
50% improv.
I don't know how much of it was improv, because I only watched the one.
50%.
Jacob had to learn to sing a song improv every night.
Well, because there's obvious points where it was improv. There's obvious points where it was like, you were literally reaching into the crowd and being like, give me something to improv about. And then there's other points where it feels like it's like a go with the flow kind of moment.
Yeah. And I think there was a mix of that in the show, and feel free to chime in at any point with this. But yeah, I would say about 50% of that show was improv. And as Tyler was saying, I had to learn how to improv sing, and I had to sing a 8-line song with 3 different completely random suggestions that then all had to rhyme together.
Yeah.
And the best part was his fellow actors got to come up with the rhymes without talking to each other.
Yeah.
And so we would just come up with, my direction for the get, right, was to find an article of clothing in the audience to, remember the part about the red shirt.
Yeah.
Right. And so I got to do that. And then Sarah would just mess with you by coming up with unrhymable words
Yeah,
to just be very
words that-
mean. And it was fantastic.
Closing night, it was supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
I mean, that rhymes with a lot of stuff.
It does.
It does.
It's hard to sing.
It's hard to get it in rhythm.
The rehearsals, the early rehearsals, Tyler can attest to this, of those music rehearsals were not good at all.
Yeah.
Like constantly when we were rehearsing it, I'd get 2 lines into my 8-line song and be like, I got nothing. Seriously, like
Yeah.
it's so hard to sing and like I look back on that. That's another thing that I look back on. I'm like, that was a really good accomplishment. I don't know. I genuinely don't know how I did that, because if I had to go back to that, I don't know that I could. Like,
You'd have to get back into it.
yeah, I'd really have to spend time practicing it again.
Improv actually takes practice, not to do exactly what you're going to do, but to just be comfortable in the space and to be able to quickly come up with something. It takes practice and forethought.
Yeah. What I was going to ask earlier is
Yes.
basically like, so I know us 3 are comedian,
Mhm.
and Tyler kind of already alluded to this a little bit, but like when you're doing comedy, it's for the audience,
100%.
100% for the audience, because if you, like, you need to be having a good time. If you're not having a good time, the audience can pretty well tell.
Yeah.
But when I think about my performance, I'm constantly like retuning in and being like, are they buying into this? Do I need to change directions? Do I need to do that? And that's the fulfillment. The fulfillment is like, okay, they enjoyed that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's another level of fulfillment that's like, did I perform to my level? But then like there's another thing where it's like the biggest part of it is like, if I can leave and people had a good time.
Mhm.
That's the biggest important part. How much of that is like in your head? Not necessarily for the comedy parts, because I imagine for like Flanagan's Wake, it's immediate feedback of like, oh yeah, I gave him something good right there.
Yeah.
But for something like the more dramatic role,
For that, in the moment, more often than not, I like to say that I'm able to hold character on stage, so I'm not necessarily thinking about what the audience is interpreting as. Almost always, though, when I get off stage, I'm like, okay, I did that well. Like, that had a good reaction. Like, I saw that girl crying. Good.
Jacob likes making girls cry.
most of my performances, people cry, yeah. So I understand.
No, but yeah, I psychoanalyze my performances a lot.
Okay.
Is that what you were asking?
Well,
Okay.
I mean, that's an answer.
Yeah.
But that's just my thought, is because like,
Yeah.
to me, that's what like a lot of like on stage stand up performance is
Mhm.
going like, let's give them a good show. I could do
Yeah.
jokes that I'm like, I'm bored of this joke. I don't like
Yeah.
doing this joke. But it's like, okay, but they liked that. So
Yeah.
that's
Comedy,
for them.
100%. Like,
But like from a dramatic point, it's like, how much of it is like, all right, I'm gonna go give them a hell of a show. Like,
I definitely say less so than comedy.
Yeah.
I think that element is still there, but it's less.
but at the end of the night,
I think,
are you sitting there going like, those guys got a good show?
yes.
Or are you thinking to yourself, or is it more, I did a good show?
I think it's more that we gave them a good show. And I think with drama, it's less about giving them a good time and more with sending them away with something to think about. Like, most dramatic shows have like some pretty dark moments, parts that you really have to sit and think about. Like, wow, that resonates with my life for X reason. And getting to have people like come up to you after the show and be like, hey, that like really hit home with me. Like, that's kind of we did a good show. That's the feeling that I get from that.
With dramas, my audience feedback measure was always quiet, right? For drama, right? If they're quiet and engaged, you can tell that something's happening.
Mhm.
You can tell when people are bored and quiet because there's fidgeting, there's always some kind of like noise to go along with it. But if they're quiet and engaged and focused, you can tell. And then the in between scenes, if there's applause or if there's quiet, there was a very dramatic scene in Taking Over the Asylum where my character did something very dramatic. And at the end of that scene, there was music, but there was never applause, right? Which was fine because there wasn't supposed to be applause in that scene. But the ending of it was always raucous, with people, giving standing ovation to the show, because you can tell when somebody is engaged and you can tell when somebody got something out of your performance, because there is a reaction, even if it's not always verbal.
Ditto.
Sheldon,
I don't
most
know.
of your stand-up ends up with just silence,
I
right?
would say that's how they act when I do stand up.
Silence and then raucous applause. Just 10
Right at
minutes
the
of
end.
just listening to you do jokes, and then at the end, that was amazing.
Some woman
You're-
crying.
Yeah. Your joke made me call my dad for the first time in 10 years.
All right. I don't know. We got any more questions? Anything else we need to hit?
No, I don't think
Is
so.
there a question we should have asked you?
How are you doing?
How are you doing,
We don't have
Jacob?
time for that.
Do you have any questions for us?
No.
Okay, fair enough.
Awesome.
Way to make him look like an ass. I like that we immediately were gonna put him on the spot for multiple times. Like ask us a question. All right.
Okay.
Self-centered much. You know?
So go ahead and pick 2 movies for
Yeah,
me.
go ahead. All right, we're gonna take one last break. We have one more segment.
Oh,
You have to do it.
okay.
Are you allergic to anything food-wise?
Maybe
Alcohol.
Maybe
Maybe
alcohol.
Maybe alcohol. Damn it. We can't do it. Just kidding.
So we can't do shooters right before we drive away from this place.
Can't do shooters that I found outside.
Can we return Fireball?
It didn't work.
It didn't work.
All right, we'll take a quick break and then we'll be right back.
when we never said he's a good
Yeah,
improv
I fell
actor.
flat.
No.
My giraffes.
This giraffe is all right.
All right, before we take it away, before we strike the set,
Ah, good.
before we exit stage left, being chased by a bear. Huh?
It's on my bucket list now.
That's a Shakespeare reference.
It's a Shakespeare reference.
I didn't get it.
I know Shakespeare. Is Shakespeare considered a foreign film?
Well,
Yes.
We have a fan favorite. Of course, all of our fans are a favorite. And we need to endorse a product. Try to endorse a product.
I got something.
Sheldon finally has brought something to this podcast.
besides shell games,
And he's going to take over the segment now.
All right. So I brought some non-American snacks.
Ooh,
I do not know how to pronounce these.
just like my last name.
Palmerindo? Schendzielos? I think that's what it's called.
It's
with real fruit.
Pulparindo.
That's what the packaging looks like.
Pulparindo.
I
Pulparindo.
think
Because
you're right.
it's pulp.
De La
It
Rose.
says hot and salted tamarind pulp candy.
Yeah, because when I think of fruit, I think of hot and salted.
Look, it's right there.
It is. And it's in Spanish.
No, I
next
know.
to
I
it.
saw that. I just mean.
Dulce de
Remember
tamarito
not
salado
to
en el
chew this
salado.
into the mic.
is the expiration date December 2023?
Hold on.
Are you giving us 3-month expired candy?
I'll eat
December 2013, dude. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, December 2023.
You know, that's not that old. All right.
I'll eat to that.
On the ingredients list, sterilized ground guajillo chili.
Don't even read it. Just try it.
It doesn't look like it is safe to be consumed.
When you touch it, your fingerprints get embedded in
Yeah,
it.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I don't-
It has an atrocious smell to it.
I feel like this is one of the things you're supposed to not touch and then touch your eye, you know?
It smells like paprika on leather. Like if you just put
I mean, that's probably what it is.
That is unique.
I like it.
I actually do. I do like it.
This is a Mexican candy that I've never had before.
It's like a spicier version of fruit roll-ups.
Why is it so good?
It is very good.
It is actually
it's
good.
It's like fruit up, and then you start chewing on it. It's like sand.
Kind of.
We got the one that expired in 23. You got the one that expired in 13.
You guys like this, huh?
Yeah.
I do like this.
Yeah,
Have you
that's
guys
good.
ever had this?
It's pretty good.
I
I've
agree
never
with the
had a
sand salad.
tamarind. What is that?
It's
I think it's a small monkey.
Yeah, I like it. I give this a 9 out of 10. That's what I'm gonna give.
You're
this.
even 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10 for this.
You
Yeah.
just met it.
What do you give it? Doesn't matter. Jacob,
3.
what do you give it?
derivative of 4x squared over the integral of 7x.
I was going to type that into Google, but then you added all the extra modifiers, and it's not going to be able to do that.
You give it a 3.
Yeah.
I think like a 6 or 7. Like it's
7?
solid. It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd give it like a genuine 7.
Mm-hmm.
I give it a 9. This is good.
Yeah.
Very good.
The thing that
Pulperando,
Pulperando.
now available in spicy flavor.
Check out our website. You can order this. Comes in 1,000 pack.
we only send the December 2023 edition ones. So
Well, they're not good if they're not expired.
They stopped, they stopped making this 5 years ago. This is the last.
This is the last of it.
But there's still millions of them.
they're in
There's a
circulation.
warehouse just full of.
Pulperando.
All right. Yeah, that was the I don't know, product placement segment. Not placement. Sponsorship.
We should just start doing this like it's product placement
Yeah.
and wait for them to send money.
I
We'll
don't
just
think
send
Paul
them an
Marino has a
invoice.
lot of money to give us.
I think he's having a little bit of a tough time with it.
He's
No,
trying to
it's-
start crying.
He started blinking at me.
No, it's the sand, dude. It's the sandy taste that.
This should be Dune. This should be the Dune game.
I bet if you put that in your eye, you would cry way more.
I bet.
Yeah.
Just lather the bottom of my eyes. Yeah, I think that would do it.
Any closing statements about our product here?
I don't think Anakin Skywalker would be a fan, but it's good.
All right. Well, then that's going to be the end of this podcast.
Mm.
Can I leave now?
It's well, I don't know. So we started with him leaving,
Yeah.
leaving the ether
Mhm.
into our podcast.
It's
Yeah.
true.
I enjoyed having you as a guest. I would give him an 8.
I'm curious. Let's.
I'm going to give him a 1 out of 1 because you are the first guest. So you get
I
a 1
like
out of
his
1.
logic.
Yeah.
I'm both
He's making
simultaneously.
an ass of himself.
I know.
He's making an ass of the entire podcast. Honestly,
I'm both the best and worst.
That's
guest to him.
why I'm here.
Out of the guests we've had, there's one I really hated and one I really loved.
and
And
Let's hear him. Let's play him up.
one I was ambivalent to.
you're all right. No, it's fun having you. It was good. Yeah.
yeah, I think that's really good, and I think just for symmetry, you need to leave.
Thank you for having me. I'm gonna.
Plug all your
You need to plug stuff.
social
Yeah.
media,
Do you
what
have any
shows you
plug?
got going on.
Well, this is
Follow me on Facebook, I guess.
this isn't a very contemporaneous.
Yeah.
Can you spell your name for the people because they're not going to be able to get it?
Okay, so we're gonna log on to Facebook. Go to the search bar and type Jacob, Jacob, space.
Oh, don't forget
That-
to do NATO, you got to do NATO alphabet.
Oh,
J is in Juliet.
okay.
A is in Alpha.
J as in Juliet, A as in Alpha, C as in coward, O as in oppressed,
That's the other word we can't say on here.
Ding, 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 ding.
and B as in benevolent.
We go banana.
This is going to take forever for you to spell the last
spell
name.
your
Go
last
ahead.
name.
Yeah. Last name's Schendzielos.
One more time.
I don't know if I knew that was how it's spelled.
There's a lot of unnecessary
I've spent
consonants
a
in
fair
there.
amount of time around your family. I should know.
Is it Polish?
It is a
it
mix
feels
of
Polish.
Dutch and Lithuanian.
That's Polish, right? Half Dutch, half that's just Poland.
Is it?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Probably know more than I do.
There's like a grit between my teeth
It's the sand, dude.
from this candy.
I'm gonna go wash my mouth. It's good.
How would you feel if, like, you kissed a girl and she was like, "I'm gonna go wash my mouth out. I enjoyed this, but I need to go cleanse this."
I don't know what
away."
that's like, Tyler.
Oh, would I only
kidding.
be so lucky
Well.
to kiss a woman named Pulperin?
Oh, my love.
Was your first kiss on stage as like a child actor?
It was not.
Oh, it was not.
Luckily.
Okay. All right.
That would kind of. I feel like it's a weird legacy to lead.
Plug what Seraphim Theater?
Yeah.
That's
Seraphim.
who you work with now right
yeah,
now.
that is my primary source of entertainment. Yeah, Seraphim Theatrical Entertainment has Anne of Green Gables opening sometime between now and later.
February 7th.
That's already passed.
Well, March 7th.
It opens March 7th. Tickets actually just went on sale today, but I'm programming lights for it, so you'll see my...
Are you the social media manager? Would you call yourself the social media manager for
I am
Seraphim?
the social media manager for
There we
Seraphim.
go.
So I guess if you give that a follow, maybe I'll get more money. And I don't know how that works.
All right. Anything else?
This is the worst plug ever. This is the worst plug segment I've ever seen.
Just sell more Pulperando.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Maybe it would work if I were crying.
we have to get out of this.
Yeah.
This is
We're
getting
done.
out of control.
I'm not even gonna hide it anymore. And I just really need you guys to looking at you. I need you guys to go and follow me on Facebook because my only validation in life is Facebook, I guess.
Well, maybe next time when we plug you, you'll have like a LinkedIn or something. Thanks for tuning in to the first guest we've ever had,
Yeah.
Jacob Schendzielos. This has been Things Might Happen.
Bad after.
And they did.
They did.
I did. All right.
Middle.
Thanks.
Back to where I came from.
Bye.
Bye.
Door's locked.
Yeah, locks from the outside. You're stuck here.
This actually is an intervention about the Sprite. This whole thing.
All right, we're done.